Now SummerSlam 2020 is almost here and fans are wondering just who will emerge victorious. Well, wonder no more as we look at the winners and losers for this year's biggest party of the summer. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists. Now first, let's look at the Raw Tag Team Championship match between the Street Profits and Angel Garza and Andrade, who are with Zelina Vega. And the WWE has worked hard to get Andrade and Angel Garza over as legitimate contenders for the tag titles, after all but burying their rivals, the Viking Raiders. Despite the piss-poor poisoning angle, the program has a lot going for it, and there's no question both team styles mesh well with each other. Zelina Vega has been great as usual as the team's manager, and will be interesting to see if Bianca Belair shows up to help a real-life hubby Montez Ford. The wild card in this match is the Bachelor contestant Demi Burnett, as there's speculation that the reality show star might pop up at SummerSlam, interfering and costing the Street Profits the titles. Either way, look for Andrade and Garza to win their first tag team championship thanks to nefarious means, and for the Street Profits to start the journey to win them back. Our final prediction, Andrade and Angel Garza win the Raw Tag Team Championships. The next match is the United States Championship match as champion Apollo Crews takes on MVP. Although it doesn't make any sense why MVP keeps getting US Championship title matches, few fans even bother to question the WWE's booking, and at this point, all we can do is throw up our hands in the air and say those dreaded words. It is what it is. Nonetheless, Apollo Crews has soared to new heights as US Champion, and the WWE would do well to continue his push. Look for Crews to get the Duke in this one, despite a strong showing from MVP, who even at 46 years of age can still put on great matches. While MVP's stable The Hurt Business has been banned from ringside, you can be certain MVP has some tricks to get a leg up on the champion, and Crews won't steamroll over MVP. Now our final prediction is that Apollo Crews retains the US Championship, but the most important part of this encounter will be after the match, as we predict Crews will be joining forces with MVP, turning heel and joining The Hurt Business. One scenario could involve Lashley and Benjamin running in for a post-match beatdown and Cedric Alexander and Ricochet running in for the save, only to get laid out by Crews & Co. MVP has been working hard to corrupt Crews, and SummerSlam could be where MVP's work pays off. Next up, the hair versus hair match between Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. Now, it's not too often fans get to see a hair versus hair match in the WWE, let alone a hair versus hair match between two female wrestlers. For whatever reason, the WWE feels the on-again, off-again program between the former Fire and Desire teammates needs a boost. There's certainly a car crash appeal to this match, not only to see if Mandy Rose's wrestling has improved, but how either woman would look once they've lost their long, lovely locks. This match might have meant more had the WWE kept the Mandy vs Sonya feud as a priority, and even more if it had somehow incorporated the Otis and Mandy romance storyline into the program. But there is one intriguing possibility with this match: Otis's Money in the Bank briefcase. What would happen if Sonya were to defeat Mandy, then she'll give a wave to the stipulation if Otis gives her or someone else the briefcase. This would be a great clever twist and a good way to get the briefcase off Otis, because the WWE has done absolutely nothing with him or it since he's won it. Barring this or something similar, look for Mandy to defeat Sonya, introducing the WWE Universe to its first bold female superstar since Molly Holly. Next up, a street fight between Seth Rollins, who's with Buddy Murphy, versus Dominik Mysterio, who's with Rey Papa Mysterio. This one is one of the most heated rivalries in recent memory, and despite well-justified criticism for the ridiculous eye-for-an-eye match at Extreme Rules, Rey's injury provided a great way to introduce his son Dominik into the ring. While fans saw Dominik perform briefly at 2019 Survivor Series bout between Papa Ray and Brock Lesnar, this will be Dominik's first actual match. Expectations will be high given his heritage, but Dominik is in good hands with one of wrestling's best workers guiding the match. Just watch out for that buckle bomb from Seth. Don't believe us? Just ask Sting and Finn Balor. Still, there is a lot of pressure on Dominik, and the WWE may have been better starting Dominik off in a tag match. The street fight should help hide some of Dominik's inexperience, as well as making up for an action-packed match which will probably involve about 239 kendo stick shots. But the Monday Night Messiah is the clear favourite in this match, but Rey Mysterio hasn't forgotten what Seth Rollins did to him and Dominik, and his interference in the match will help Dominik get a win in his first match. Our final prediction: Dominik Mysterio wins the street fight. Now, WWE has a good feud on its hands, so don't expect this one to be over. In fact, with Payback just a week away from SummerSlam, it's a lock we'll see a rematch, possibly with Ray and Dominik teaming up against Seth and Buddy Murphy. Next up, the Raw Women's Championship match as champion Sasha Banks takes on Asuka. Sasha Banks' wonky win over Asuka, well, in case you missed it, she won the belt by countout, enabled the Golden Role Models to finally win all the women's belts in the WWE. However, Bayley and Banks' stronghold on the belts is gonna slip away as the WWE gears up for the duo's breakup and inevitable feud. The Empress of Tomorrow and the Boss might have the match of the night, but that all depends on Asuka vs Bayley, which might outshine it. With the WWE going to break up Banks and Bayley, Wrestlelamia predicts Bayley will help out Banks hold on to the belt, but things will quickly go downhill. As for Asuka, things will quickly turn around for her, but we predict Sasha Banks will retain the Raw Women's Championship. But next up, we then have the SmackDown Women's Championship as champion Bayley takes on Asuka. Will this be match of the night? Possibly, but the real question is how the WWE uses this match to start the breakup between the Golden Role Models. One likely development will see the Empress of Tomorrow edging close to victory as Bayley realizes her record-setting run is about to end. Thankfully, Bayley's BFF will be on hand to provide a valuable assist. However, while Sasha Banks' timely interference has saved Bayley's title many times before, this time it should backfire, costing her the title and starting the Golden Role Models' downward spiral into a bitter feud. Anyone who has followed the storyline of the Golden Role Models know that Bayley's jealousy will quickly surface when she sees her BFF has a World Singles belt and she has nothing to show for it. Our prediction: Asuka wins the SmackDown Women's Championship. But not only should Asuka's title win start the long-delayed Banks vs Bayley feud, but it will freshen up the SmackDown Women's division as the Empress of Tomorrow moves back to the blue brand. Next up is the Universal Championship match between champion Braun Strowman versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt. This is the match the WWE Universe has been waiting for, and while fans have had to sit through a forgettable match at Money in the Bank and a match we wish we could forget, the Swamp match at Extreme Rules, we have two monsters battling for SmackDown's top prize, but more importantly, to see who the biggest and the baddest is. Although Braun Strowman works well as a babyface, the idea of a 100% ruthless and evil monster among men battling the WWE's resident badass, the Fiend, is the ideal situation. Let's also not forget Alexa Bliss, as whose side is Bliss on, and if she sides with the Fiend, will she become Sister Abigail, or perhaps even be revealed as having been her for some time? Is it possible Strowman and Bliss are secretly working together to thwart the Fiend? There are some strong storytelling possibilities here, and with any luck, the WWE will use them effectively rather than wasting them. One might think the WWE would give this bout some sort of stipulation considering the capacity for carnage and chaos between the Fiend and Strowman, but there may be a good reason for keeping this a normal match. Well, as normal as you're going to get between these two. The WWE may want to milk this one so it can get a Fiend vs Strowman rematch at Payback, so look for the Fiend to defeat Strowman but come up short in winning the title. Strowman will likely keep the title but lose due to a disqualification or countout, leaving the question of who's the best up in the air. Let's just hope it's not due to a referee stoppage like Seth vs The Fiend at 2019's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. These two will lock up again at Payback with a stipulation designed to guarantee a winner. Our prediction: the Fiend wins, but possibly no title change. And finally, the WWE Championship match as champion Drew McIntyre takes on Randy Orton. Will he or won't he? That's the question fans are wondering as Randy Orton competes for the WWE Championship after leaving a wake of carnage including the carcasses of Ric Flair, Edge, Big Show, Christian, and the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. As discussed in our SummerSlam News and Rumors video, the WWE seems hell-bent on putting the WWE Championship on the Legend Killer in order to up the ante when Edge returns and goes after Orton. No, the Edge vs Orton program doesn't need a title to make it any more special, but that's the way things seem to be headed. Look for Drew to dominate, punish Orton for his recent crimes against WWE legends, but falling to the Viper due to his focus on revenge instead of victory. McIntyre's booking as a superstar who kicks out of opponents' finishes at 1, including Brock Lesnar's F5, should continue, with Orton needing multiple RKOs and perhaps some extra help such as a chair to finish Drew off. Our prediction: Randy Orton wins the WWE Championship. One X factor to look out is for the presence of Retribution. It's possible the group could strike during the Orton vs McIntyre match, leading to a no contest and a rematch at Payback. Whatever does happen, Orton's WWE Championship win is only a matter of time, whether the fans want it or not. But there you have it guys, our prediction on the winners and losers of this year's SummerSlam pay-per-view. Let us know your predictions down below, follow us on Facebook and Instagram for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.